All
Got
right.
up and going. This keep getting dark. It's timing out.
Yeah, you got
Okay. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Trying to do multiple things. Yes.
Wait, before you scroll away.
Okay.
All right. I think we good.
Okay.
They hadn't started to come in yet on
Okay.
YouTube. They go Hathor, yeah, Daniel, we back. Angel Army, Tiana Marie, yes, we're back. And y'all hear us, you saying we sound great. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can y'all see
Oh,
us on
man.
this side?
Energy 369, yes, sir.
It's something I'm doing wrong.
What's happening?
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I'm learning.
Peace again, everybody coming in. Yes.
Yeah, so
You said we look very clear as well.
I say.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right,
y'all
then.
can hear us. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Angel. Like you
Yeah.
are
Peace.
divine. So let's get started because we got little ones and we gotta do that too. So we want to dig in and be able to give our full attention to this. We'll be sharing. It's cool.
It's cool. I got this.
Okay. So let me get into the red crystal dragon, which is what I was discussing. We're going to be talking about fear. We're going to be giving you information, energetic updates, a combination of Mayan astrology, talking about the energy of the time that we're in right now. And I know for a lot of us, we are absolutely dealing with this. The more that you transform and the more that you level up, the more you discover limitations. And so these personal limitations, it's just not serving us to have these limitations anymore. A lot of the restrictions, the reason why a lot of us are on this path in the first place is because we are truth seekers at heart. It's just who we are. So red crystal dragon, it is the survival of the fittest. Now, I'm not talking about the energy of red crystal dragon for today. I'm talking about what we've been under, okay? And I'm finna tell you how we can correct that programming. So survival of the fittest, we've all heard that. Race to the top, we've all heard that. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Only the strong survive. Every man is for himself. We are all familiar with these expressions and idioms that promote a culture built on the premise that competition is not only inherent, but it is necessary for us to lead successful and productive lives. The main through point that these have in common is that they are all based around fear. Fear that we are not strong or capable enough. Fear that someone else is going to take what we need away from us. And more than anything, fear that we're alone, if not physically, then mentally, emotionally, and spiritually disconnected from others, from source, and even from our own selves. This is when the awakening happens and you start challenging all of these things that's been the program we've been running on, you can feel very bipolar. And you can feel the fluctuation between one belief system and another. So this don't mean that it's nothing wrong with healthy competition, but it's something wrong when that's getting in the way of you being your authentic self, and it's making you uncomfortable with who you are and uncomfortable with your shadow aspects and your weaknesses. And so what happened is you'll just continue to create this false self, this ego-based person, and that's who's operating your simulation, which does what? Allow you to be a buffet for archons, because you're seasoning yourself with the frequency. They eat frequency.
Right.
Okay? We eat frequency in the form of food, but they eat it in the form of emotions. Okay? So traversing through life thinking that we need to compete for happiness is both lonely and destructive, internally and externally, leaving us with meaningless things all around us. Oh, for some of us, that's our relationships with friends, with people, business partners. That shit, you're starting to realize some stuff is meaningless. And you just have to come to a point where you accept it. It just is what it is. And also, the emptiness that you're starting to discover in your own heart. I don't care who you are. We all have places in our heart where there is a void. and there's something that wasn't filled growing up, which is why we're on this path anyway. So the red crystal dragon reminds us that this fear-driven reality based on competition and disconnection is not the way things need to be. And furthermore, that our lives are actually more productive when we take the opposing view. To begin, we replace competition with cooperation. No product, no company, no city, no country, no empire was built entirely alone. Even if the bulk of the work was done by one person, we cannot discount the contribution provided by other people in their lives leading up to the time of creation that allowed them to have the space, knowledge, and ability to give birth to their idea. Remember, birth was another one of the key words. So if there is a thought, idea, or dream that we want to bring to life, it is imperative we dedicate ourselves to nurture it and to love it as if it were our own child. But that does not mean that we do it all alone. Take, for instance, a literal example of a single woman who was pregnant. I've been her. A lot of us were raised by single mothers, so we can relate to this one. And let's say she doesn't have a partner or family to help her. We would classify her as being all alone. And yes, without these relationships, there is definitely added challenge. But the reality is that she is far from being entirely alone. She may have a doctor or a clinic and a store or market where she buys food, and a job that pays her income, and friends to talk to on occasion, and a whole infrastructure that supports her in some way, shape, or form. So through a lens of fear, this is talking about our perception of the situation. Because when I was a single mother, I refused to allow myself to be overwhelmed by that. And, you know, it's a matter of perception. So through a lens of fear and competition, we only see what we are missing. I know it's not just us. We're really, really good at seeing the shit that's missing in our lives. Through a lens of love and cooperation, we only see what we have. It's better to want what you have than to have what you want. So the situation itself remains the same. What changes is our perception of how we view it. The opportunity herein is to choose the viewpoint of love and cooperation, recognizing that perception is the healthiest, happiest, and most productive for us and all of those around us. If that becomes challenging at times, we can take on the nurturing role of the dedicated parent, recognizing that to raise a child or an idea or a dream, it does in fact take a village built on connection, cooperation, and harmony. Now look, y'all, I know we've been told that this is not possible to have. I know we got people that are relatives that make us feel like this shit is impossible to have. But we got to shift our perception.
Yeah.
Because if we don't shift the perception, the reality is not going to move. So we're giving birth to a new reality. So how can you perceive your own life differently? How can you perceive your relationships differently? Can you begin to see people who get on your damn nerves that you have to deal with as challenges that's meant for you to become an alchemist and learn how to use it for your benefit? With social media and a lot of this, it can make you feel very inferior. You can start comparing your life to other people. I know if y'all watching us in the conscious community, I'm not gonna lie, it's people out there where I feel like the energy coming off of them is, I want to make everybody else feel less than. I want to put myself on a pedestal, and I'm going to show myself a certain way. So these are the people, they never tell you about their challenges. They never talk about their struggles. They never talk about their weaknesses. Everything that they post is just litty, great. Like, it's good to feel good about yourself, and it's good to want to celebrate that and show that to other people. But the lack of balance, the lack of integrity, like a lot of us came into this community to get away from those things, but what you must realize, you the common denominator. So you have to remove people from your reality that's not on the frequency that you're not on.
That's right.
And that's how we anchor a new frequency on this planet so that we can come out of fear and truly come into love. And then Black women won't feel like they have to compete with each other all the time. You know, I catch myself doing that and I'm like, wait a minute, what am I? There is no competition if I'm being me because there's only one me, you know? So this is just the energy for
That's
today.
right. That's right. That's right.
You want to do the white mirror?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we're going to go over the wave spell because I know I kind of jumped from the red crystal dragon. Shout out to the crystal dragons out there. It's not a lot of red crystal dragons, so if you want, just know that you're rare. But yeah, the wave spell for today, Ernest is going to share that.
Okay, the white mirror. Wave spell resolve today, and it would be worthwhile to really assess what it was you were asked to sacrifice. What you experienced is heartbreaking, and how the light enters all those new crevices. In theory, a broken heart takes up more space than a whole one, a form of expansion and growth. If the heartbreak wasn't yours, it was around you in the culture, and it's also part of our ceremonial passage to pay attention to those who made the transition of a kind from here on earth to a broader spirit world. Not necessarily literal, but a death as much as a forced shift in consciousness through loss.
I think a lot of us can relate to that. All of us have had our heart broken over something.
Definitely.
And a broken heart don't mean that you're weak. It don't mean that you're broken, you're useless, you're inferior, you're disposable. It just means that there's more opportunity for expansion to happen.
Yeah. I mean, if you hadn't had your heart broken, then it may be because you hadn't really gave your heart to anyone,
Or anything.
or given your all. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because at some point, when you surrender and yield yourself, there'll be some things that, I mean, even if it was some hurt that wasn't
Yeah.
as devastating,
Yeah.
but it did hurt you, you know what I'm saying? You know, or it can hurt you. But again, only you will experience hurt when you open yourself up
Yeah.
and allow yourself to be
Oh,
vulnerable.
and we gonna talk about that shit. You
Yeah,
want to talk
yeah.
about being great? How about people brag about being open to getting your heart fucking crushed?
Man.
It takes a courageous person to put their heart behind anything. To do what we're doing, we have to attach our heart to our work.
Yep.
This ain't like going to the workhouse and working. Like, to do this, you got to attach your heart to it. And that's why I keep saying, oh, I don't know, I might channel tonight. I'm trying not to do another number last night because I was on a whole other frequency last night. I'm trying to be in a teacher mode, you know, but I just have to say, a lot of people's heart is not really in this conscious shit. So don't get confused by numbers and how many people following this person, and that shit means nothing. That is part of the simulation. Okay, so when you start to have a different relationship with reality and with numbers, you start to see, and you'll start to pick up on when people's heart really ain't in it. So I just have to say that because I see it so much. And if ego is driving heart, there is no room for the heart to drive. So again, if you never had your heart broken, then the last part of the show is going to be for you because you've probably been so guarded, you have not allowed anything to penetrate the depths of your being to
Right.
even experience your own abyss.
Right.
You know, it's nowhere around it.
Yeah.
It's nowhere around it.
Man. Because we ain't even speaking on anything from a past life situation or, man, just some generational trauma of heartbrokenness that can be
Hell
passed
yeah.
on. You know,
We
that
was
can be
born
passed
with
on.
broken hearts.
Yeah, that can
We
be
was
passed
born
on.
from wombs that have been raped, beat, broken. For a lot of us in the melanated
Right.
community, we was born with broken hearts. Like, real talk. So for a lot of y'all that beat yourselves up about how you be feeling and your mentality and all of those things, just know that it's not just you.
Right.
You come here to heal generationally. And so maybe you epigenetically was passed down a lot of trauma. And you could have been born depressed
Right.
as a result of this. Like, it's no shame around that. The sooner you accept it, the better that you will be, because bringing the awareness to it allows you to actually become the alchemist.
So, back to it.
think the white dog wave spell. So we're going to go over the rest of the wave spell, and then we want to stop for a moment and acknowledge someone that, I don't know, their energy to me just felt relevant. And so we would like to say a few words after this.
Okay, again, the white dog wave spell manifests the power of heart to help us unify in order to love, thus dissolving the human differences that only exist inside the mind. There is something bigger moving us forward. There is synchronicity within all schools of spiritual wisdom. Love is the most powerful quality that makes us humans. This wave spell invites us to let go of the mind in order to speak the language of heart.
That's deep. To let go of your mind and speak the language of heart. Two total different languages. So the more your language changes, and the more the origin of your language is coming from your heart, and you become a person who's more anchored in truth. Even if it's just your personal truth, you bring a level of sincerity and genuineness, and you don't need other people to get on board for you to own whatever your truth is.
That's right.
That's coming from your heart. And so when the language changes, guess what? What's around you changes too, because in the beginning God spoke. Now there are certain qualities of this white dog wave spell energy we're under today. They are companions of destiny, heart, love, service, loyalty, spiritual strength, guardians, guides, breakthrough, emotional body issues, ego, recasting the past, and new beginnings. I think a lot of us can relate to all of those. And for healing to happen, a lot of times we do recast our past. So that basically means if you have father issues, you choose men who have issues with divine masculine structure. If you have mother issues, you choose women who have issues with the divine feminine structure. With those principles. And so that's recasting. Even with your own children, that's a form of recasting. Our children are not born to us coincidentally. So this is where you have to recognize, like, am I just recasting this role to different people, refusing to see I'm the common denominator, and there's something inside of me that needs to change, so I'm not even a vibrational match for the things that are toxic and not beneficial anymore for me.
Yeah, and y'all know we spoke on that in the previous video. We were talking about it because of the experience that some experiences that we have been experiencing on the past week as it relates to that projection, and me personally projecting just disharmonious vibes. You know what I'm saying? From a place of just woundedness and trauma. And I seen the question being asked, what if you are so traumatized that you're disconnected from your heart?
That's what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
That's the issue. That's the issue. Like, that's the root of so much. It has not been safe to be in our heart space.
I would say doing some shadow work, which you probably are familiar with. Yeah. It's gonna take you searching within yourself and getting to some of the core issues as to why you disconnected from the heart. I've had to go through that. Yeah.
And we're gonna get more into that too. So to recognize your companions of destiny, like, who are your companions of destiny? Are you starting to identify these key characters that's coming into the narrative of what you call your reality or your story? You really do. You have to do inventory constantly of people that come and go in your life and recognize a companion of destiny. I'm not gonna call names, but we have connected with some very amazing, beautiful people in the conscious community that we consider to be companions of destiny. So one of the gifts of the white dog is the calling in and recognition of other companions of destiny. Other beings with the same longing or waiting to meet and acknowledge you. People who are not trying to shoot you down, not trying to compete with you. They just want to acknowledge you as you are.
Right.
Beings who can see you as you authentically are. Is that not what we all want in relationships, to really be seen? You know, when you have truly been seen, you feel empowered, and remembrance of a shared sacred trust is ignited. This is a natural process, divinely designed for recognition through vibrational affinity, freed from personal expectations. The white dog can be seen as an access point for developing relationships with your guides, with your totem animals, allies, and guardians. There are many ways to work with these spiritual guides, including guided visualization, shamanic journeys, and meditation. A useful construct is viewing them as aspects of yourself, part of your life stream that is asking to be integrated. Remember, there is no other. In this grand adventure, you are being asked to embody all that you are. And all that you are might not be socially acceptable. All that I am, it might not be acceptable.
I mean,
It might not be acceptable in your family.
that's reality. Yeah.
It might not
All
be
that we
acceptable.
are is not acceptable.
No.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that?
It's too many.
You know,
it's too
that's
many
the question.
It's too many. Man, there's too many measures and constructs that are vain that's been created. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not for edifying ourselves, edifying our souls, and being the best that we could be. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's really not. It's all for control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all for capital. It's all for somebody else's gain. So definitely.
And that hurts like hell to discover that, you've been in this toxic dynamic throughout most of your life. At some point, you have to embrace and embody all that you are, even the parts of you that you feel like need to change. And that brings us to the dog of all dogs, who it was really relevant when I was looking at the energy for today,
Yeah.
which is DMX, Rise in Power
Rise in power.
to you.
Definitely.
He
Yes.
embraced all that
Ashe.
he was. He really did. He did a lot to try to change who he was, but he still embraced who he
Himself.
was.
Yeah.
He didn't hide it. He would talk about how high he got, how old he was, who he robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like DMX was a freak of nature, because he was as much of a villain as he was a hero. And he embodied both energies, and the lesson, as I'm doing the research and I am communicating with his essence.
She's doing
Right.
Yeah, she's gonna have a breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she talks about that and deal with it.
Because the cosmic imprint that I saw on his life was just so dynamic and prolific. I felt like it just needed its own separate thing. So that's why I haven't been really talking about it in videos, because I want it to be its own separate thing, because I just feel like that would be an honor to him, because he was someone who recognized his demons, did not hide them, and he still was successful, and even though he was a competitive rapper, you know what I'm saying? Like he really wasn't caught up in a lot of drama. He could have been, but he died with a lot of secrets. He died with a lot of people's secrets that he carried. And I think the lesson from him was just to embrace all that you are and to recognize that you're divine.
Yeah.
Even as messed up as you may feel. It doesn't negate your divinity and the fact that you are an extension of source. That's how we would say it. He would say a child of God. It's just a matter of different language, but identifying the frequency that he operated in. So yes, I wanted to include that and say that in this, because whose life speaks to this? He overcame so much, but it was so many demons that he still struggled with. But to overcome addiction, that's huge.
Yeah.
We have to give that man props for that. That was alchemy at its finest. So, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
The harmonic wisdom of the white dog is affinity and the attraction of like vibrations or substances from one another. So again, the more that you begin to attune yourself, you will find yourself attracting people of like vibrations. So whatever great thing y'all see in us is because it's in you
Yeah.
too.
Exactly.
And it could be sleeping. It could be lying dormant, but we
Now,
activate
actually,
each
it's
other.
waking up, man.
It's waking up.
It's waking
We're
up.
waking
That's
up.
what. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We're waking up. So, don't forget to, like, share, subscribe, all that. Thank y'all for y'all donations. Just want to say that because it allows us to be able to do what we're doing, to have spaces and that whole other app. I feel like it's going to be a thing that's going to catch on. A lot of people are going to be using it in the future. But, so we're doing this. So we want to thank y'all for your support too, and just stop before we go any further with this. And, and I just want to say for those of you who are doing the online program with us, like, y'all are like phenomenal because you're connecting to your spirit guides. You're connecting to your shadow self.
Right.
You're connecting to what we would call these demonic parts of us to discover yourself. You're going into the abyss of your own psyche, and you're finding these things about yourself to integrate in your life. And that's the whole goal. So kudos to y'all because y'all doing the work. We just made the information available, but y'all making it work for you. And we don't want to handicap people with anything that we're doing and make people feel like they have to be relying on us.
Right.
So I wanted to say that too. Bobby Hemmett always talked about how, you don't want to follow me. He said he had 1 hour working on his damn stove. I'm like, that's some post shit. I done been poor, but damn, 1 hour working on the stove, that's it? So we're not trying to get on here and be leaders of society and shit. Y'all have something to offer, and I just feel like we are just able to help y'all.
For that reason.
Exactly. We connect with each other, so that's the cooperation again. So in order for us to shift up out of the fear,
We have to cooperate.
we gotta cooperate.
Yes.
We gotta cooperate. We gotta take the mask off. We gotta stop like this shit. So, like, I know being in the heart feels really, really scary. Like, when you really do it, being vulnerable feels scary. Telling people your truth, for a lot of us, we can't even be truthful with our spouses because we feel like they're going to feel some kind of way about our truth. We can't be truthful with our parents, our siblings. I mean, it's so much that we've had to suppress so much for so long that allowing the heart to speak, that's foreign to a lot of us, and it takes practice.
Oh, yes.
You have to just do it little by little. But I told y'all last night, in order for you to truly become your highest potential, you have to challenge fear.
That's right.
And so, like, for me, I like wearing bras and that stuff, that I was conditioned that this is what you should do because your titties should not sag, right? But I had to come to a point where I was like, is that my truth? Is that how I feel? So if I want them to hang, I let them hang. If I want them up, I put them up. But I'm not allowing,
options.
right? Don't allow your reality to be dictated by somebody else's belief. It may not be something with your body. It could be something about you.
That's right.
It could be your sexuality, your spirituality, whatever it is. Like, we got to come out of this. If people go stop shaming people for being who they authentically are, it's only going to happen as a result of us challenging fear.
That's right.
Fear only respects those that challenge it. And once you challenge
That's the only way
it,
you're going to break through.
that's the only way. It's like that bully.
I bet now.
It's
Go ahead,
like
go
that
ahead, go
one
ahead, go ahead.
bully. That one bully. And everybody know that one bully. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh, you don't want to get into it with them, yada, 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 yada. And they talk real big shit. And then one day you just get the courage. You're like, you know what? Fuck this. You're not taking my lunch money, none of that shit. All that stuff you've been doing to other people is not happening. And like once you challenge it, you will see a whole new energy coming off of that person. So it's like I'm making fear my ally. instead of it being my enemy and being a reason for me not to expose my heart and expose my authentic self and just show up as me. Like, damn, can I just show up as me?
You're using that fear to make you better.
Yeah. That's the whole purpose in being on the
Yeah.
path that we're on.
That's like the pressure.
Yeah.
That's just, and you know what? In most cases, it's just some pressure that we putting on ourselves.
Yeah.
It ain't even nothing to be fearful of.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I'm on some shit where like that witch that used to
That's what I was
ride my
finna say.
back. Now I want to talk to her. You know what I'm saying? I wake up and I can't move and shit. I'm like, yo, you've been doing this shit since I was 5. What's up?
Right.
Like, you know, I was so scary as a kid of the dark. I wouldn't get out of the bed because I was afraid something was under the bed and it was going to snatch me up under the bed and take me into this portal or some shit. I don't know if I had watched Freddy Krueger,
Watch a lot of
but right, it had really, really fucked me up.
Yeah.
So I would hold my pee and I would not get out of bed all night long. And just one day, I was just like, you know what?
Fuck this.
If I get snatched, I get snatched. I did write a little note, you know what I'm saying? I was smart. I got my little crayon. I wrote a little note. Like, if I go missing, I'm under the bed. And I got up out the bed, went to pee. Nothing happened. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So, it, like, you have to challenge your limiting beliefs, what is being projected to you as fear.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna always go how you want it to go. Sometimes you go challenge that shit and that challenge might be a challenge for another time, for you to win another time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I done had some bullies that I got to fighting with and they whooped my ass, but I was just like, not again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I figured out your weakness, you big. So as long as I can knock your ass down, be good next time. Like, I went through that and I got bullied so much. You just cannot keep running from it. You have to be like, you know what? Let me just face this fear. You know? And it was one, I'm gonna let you want to share something?
No,
I got a little
it's in
funny
line with
story.
me. Go ahead.
Okay. So it was this one particular bully, like real shit, real talk. I grew up where I was like the cute girl who went from the military base to the hood. You know what I'm saying? So none of the girls liked me, and I didn't know why. And when I was younger, I didn't consider myself to be beautiful. So I had this very inferior thinking about myself that I had been programmed to believe. I wasn't light skinned, I wasn't a red bone, all of the things that our culture had said what beauty was. And you had the magazines, I didn't look like that, you know. And so I would get picked on. And so it was this particular bully. And everybody was just like, yeah, she said she go get you when y'all go to lunch. And I'm like, why? Oh, she just don't like you. And I'm like, well, why she didn't come tell me that? Who are you? I'm her friend. I'm like, so she sent you to tell me she didn't like me and she wanted to fight me? I don't even know her. What's her name? Like, I ain't know her name, know nothing about her. So I'm like, damn, this is, even as a kid, I was very, very lucid and conscious. So even as a kid, I was like, this shit's strange as hell. How you want to fight somebody you don't know? But when you're in a situation like that and you're in the middle of the hood and people got hood ass mentalities, like it's really no place to be conscious. So at the time, I was just like, well, I guess I gotta fight this girl. I mean, I kind of don't have a choice. So we get ready to go to lunch. Before we go to lunch, we would always have a bathroom break. So this chick, like throughout the day, everybody in class was telling me like, yeah, she got to fighting with this dude. And man, she blacked both of his eyes, yada, 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 yada. And I'm like, that little bitty girl right there, I was always really skinny, but she was skinny and short. So I was like, her? So everybody was telling me through the day about other fights she had. So, you know, this shit had me nervous. I'm low-key, like, damn, okay. At first I was like, I got a chance. She's small, I'm small. So by the time lunch came, I'm spooked. Like, the fear is, like, in here so deep to where I'm spooked. So we get in the bathroom.
That was the meanest
And
part.
yeah, we get in the bathroom and I really had to use the bathroom. I forgot all about this shit. Even though I was spooked, I had to pee so bad, I forgot about it. So I get in the bathroom, I'm running to the bathroom. She won't let me in the stall. And I'm just like, I gotta use the bathroom. And she's like, nah, bitch, we go fight. And I'm like for me, this hood shit, like this was new. Like I got a lot of hood in me now, but at the time I was not hood. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even understand the dynamic of why you get to fighting over nothing and you don't know each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be conscious in the moment, and I'm just like, look, you're not being rational. I just need you to use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? No, bitch, we go fight. So come to find out, her little boyfriend thought I was cute. You know how the teacher, you the new kid in class, and the teacher's like, this is Khamsin, and you know, she moved here, and she's a military brat. They tell you a lot of little rundown shit about you, and so, you know, when you in the hood, it like make people more jealous if whatever the teacher's saying about you was great. She's on the principal list, and so it just made the shit worse. You know what I'm saying? This is how reality do you. But this is the training when we come to Earth. So I'm just like, okay, I'm either gonna fight this chick and pee, or you know what I'm saying? I had to pee so bad I didn't even care. We got to fighting. I don't know what happened, but this is when I first had my first interaction with the demons that live inside of me, because it was so bad. The teacher was like, we're gonna have to call the paramedics because the girl was unconscious. And after I hit her and kicked her in the stomach, I took her head was in the toilet bowl, like something came out of me. And so when I felt like it was an out of body experience. So the teacher is like, yeah, you're gonna be in big trouble. You're the new student. And I was just like, she started it. And she was like, I didn't read in your record you had a issue with conduct and behavior at your last school. I was like, I don't. I thought you were on the principal list. I was like, I am. But this one I realized that there is more than meets the eye, and I had a part of me that I had not met yet. So, thank goodness she came back to consciousness. By the time the paramedics got there, she was talking and she knew what day it was. They asked all this questions and stuff, and I was like, thank God. I'm like, damn, I'm finna catch a charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the principal's list and shit like this. No, it's bad enough. The reality done fixed it where I'm in the fucking hood. Like, no, I'm not finna go to jail. So, needless to say, we got suspended. We ended up in detention together, and she wanted to be my best friend after that. So it's crazy. We became friends. But what I learned was sometimes you just have to face whatever it is that's in front of you that you're afraid of, because what's on the other side of that is you knowing yourself better.
Yeah.
So ultimately, that's the reward. So even if I would have got my ass whooped, at least I would have learned something about myself. I just had to share that little story.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just fits so perfect into this.
But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about being able to not let your fears control your reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one way to do that is identify those things that you're fearful of and begin to do the exact thing to cause you to have the emotional anxiety or whatever it is that might make you a little fearful. Go head forward into it. Go right into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We say when you fearful of something, just do it anyway. So that's what we have to do. We have to do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've had, which we laugh about and we talk about, but sometimes I have a reservation about just doing live videos by myself. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I performed in front of crowds. I played basketball pretty much all my life, always in front of crowds of people. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to, okay, it's just me and this camera, I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? So to the place to where I am pushing through that to begin to do lives myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's but see, the reason it hit different now is because we're releasing all of the shit that wasn't really us in the first place. So yeah, being in front of people is gonna hit different. It's gonna feel different.
Yeah.
When you was like back when we was performing, it was really different. When we was rapping for Jesus, That was like you had a whole Jesus in front of you. You had the blood you was covered in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was crucified. So really, you didn't even have to show yourself to the world. You just needed to represent for the mind of Christ, and then nothing else was asked of you. So the shit made us get off easy. Whatever it was, whatever your mask was for you, or your false self was for you. So now you're in this simulation. And you don't have that avatar to use anymore because that shit don't resonate with you. None of that stuff. You could have been labeled the bad kid in the family. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everybody got that one kid in the family, like, they bad as hell. They always been bad. And then you grow up, that shit sticks to you and it affects you. And so now you're shedding that. But then you find yourself trying to prove your goodness that I'm not what y'all said I was, and you find yourself trying to be successful in your business and whatever you're doing because it's still coming out of a place of fear. So you have to check that shit and be like, wait a minute, is this because I see people in the conscious community doing really big things, and I look at it and I congratulate them inside. I'm like, that's what's up. But I can tell when it's motivated by fear of failing, or fear of not being accepted, or fear of, some people are just attention whores. And they do a lot of stuff to get attention. And so you might be getting the numbers, you're getting the likes, you're getting the hearts and shit. Like, this simulation is a motherfucker, because when hearts and emojis and shit can make you feel successful, like something is wrong there, that shit should be coming from inside. So even though we be like, thank you, we appreciate y'all for the donations, thank you for the love, thank you for the hearts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's not what I identify where my value comes from.
Right.
My self-worth is on my level for me. Like, what is your self-worth to you? If you're not in church anymore, you're not in religion anymore, maybe you was part of the cult on the right-hand path, you're not doing that. Like, you kind of don't know where you fit. You have to start figuring out, what is success to me? What is makes me valuable? What do I depend on to feel worthy? You know, and so even if it's like taking care of your kids, I hate to say this, but you even have to challenge that shit.
Yeah.
Do they really have to have breakfast every morning? Can you skip a morning? You know what I'm saying? Like, we hold ourselves
To a lot of standards.
to so many standards and expectations, and it's not realistic and it's not healthy. And like, the conscious community was like Jesus 2.0. Like, it was like, oh, okay, this resonates.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after the Hebrew Israelite stuff didn't work, because we studied and studied and studied and studied, and we studied to the point where they couldn't even answer our questions. So it was just like, okay, the conscious community felt great, but now I'm starting to see this same toxicity in the conscious community, where people not having integrity with how they dealing with each other, people not coming from the heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They not speaking the language of the heart. Like, that shit just don't slide past me. You know? So it might look like it, but I'm always peeping game. And I can feel that. And when I feel that energy, like, I'll try to push myself to cooperate or work with somebody or do something. I know y'all probably be like, Cam, why you ain't doing something with so-and-so? It'd be great to see Khamsin and Oracle with. It would be. But I'm going to be real with y'all. A lot of women in the conscious community, they are not on that sisterhood shit for real. Like, they just doing this shit for the gram. It is what it is. A lot of brothers in the community, they not really trying to uplift other brothers. People are after they bag. And it ain't nothing wrong with building material wealth. But when your language becomes controlled by your fear of what you may be a failure at or success at, then you're not moving in a space of your heart space. So that shit automatically makes you a fucking failure. And so this is why it takes courage to move in the heart space. This shit is Wizard of motherfucking Oz, and we walking on the yellow brick road, and we discovering who we are. And we realizing, damn, I ain't got no brains. Damn, I ain't got no heart. And I think for a lot of us, it's the heart that's been missing, because we've been betrayed.
That's some good shit right there, man. Yeah.
We've been abused.
Yes.
We've been stepped on. So to be vulnerable, like, as a woman, for me to be vulnerable to a man, that shit was so hard. It still is a challenge. I literally feel fear sometimes take over my whole body, and I'd be like, what is this? And I feel closed, and I'm like, why do I feel closed? A lot of y'all ain't manifesting relationships yet because you have not been able to feel the fear and do it anyway, because that's what this level of relationship is going to require you.
Yeah.
Like you can't, you cannot let your reality be anchored in fear. We got to stop that. We have to stop that. And so to move out of that reality, you do have to start making different decisions day by day. It don't have to be big, but small things. Like your insecurities. Target your insecurity. What areas you don't like to be vulnerable in. Well, start being vulnerable. Take a chance. Just see what happens.
Just play with one aspect of it.
Play with one aspect.
Yeah.
And then you just build as you go. You know what I'm saying? You build
training.
as you go. So it's, we're coming out of that. You just can't be fake no more.
It's all about authenticity. Yeah.
Authenticity at the end of the day, vulnerability at the end of the day, that's super Heru shit.
Yep.
It really is. Don't let people trick you. I know they got these dope ass. Thank you for the donation. May return you 36 to 100 fold. Ashe.
Appreciate that. A Johnny.
I like that.
Yeah.
A Johnny. People got these, like, they timeline shit. They life look epic. You know what I'm saying? But they can't maintain a relationship. They cannot maintain a relationship. It's something that's shut down.
Yeah.
And it's no shame to them for that, because that was us at one point too.
Well, that's what led us to this place too.
Yeah.
That's definitely what led us to this place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Seeing and we are as creators, we establish our own language, as we're saying. And so even in modifying what we do use, we talked about having a lot of mess ups, you know what I'm saying? But we say, no, we ain't messing up. It's more so trial and error. And we're just learning, and as we going, you know what I'm saying? So you continually move as you go, and y'all know every day you learn something new. For the most part, all of us are learning many things daily.
Yeah.
New. Whether it's about ourselves, it's about our surroundings, you know what I'm saying? It's about history, it's about what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? We learning something new continually, so.
Yeah. And it's a price that you pay for all of that newness.
Yeah.
That price that you pay for learning so much new stuff is okay. Here go the tools. What you go do now?
Yeah.
You just learn about this crystal. What you go do now?
Yeah.
You know, you just learn about this specific meditation. What are you going to do now? You just learned about this specific way to honor your ancestors. What are you going to do now? You know, so for a lot of us, even if, let's just say you're struggling with connecting to spirit guides, ancestors, and things like that, first thing you want to do is remember it is an aspect of you. That is a really good way to start opening your heart and getting used to being able to speak from your heart space, live from your heart space, make decisions from your heart space. Because you got to neutralize the ego to be able to do that. Not kill your ego. Neutralize. It's a difference. Okay? Because ego has a place in this world. So if you want to practice, like with meditating, this is where I started. I started practicing being vulnerable with people who had hurt me in meditation, and just visualizing things that happened with my parents, and then playing that narrative out in my mind in a way that's beneficial for me to perceive it in that way. So instead of perceiving it from a place of victimhood, perceiving it from a place of I do have control, I do have power. So if that was me forgiving people who raped me or molested me or people who were abusive, then I would visualize that in my mind, connect my heart space to the situation in my mind, and create my own narrative. And so this is how you begin taking your power back. This is what it's all about. And one thing I have come to realize is that the reason why, because, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I do wonder, it seems like some people, they'll follow us, they'll like take a lot of points and content, use it, they'll never say shout out to Remnants Gathering, shout out to Khamsin and Oracle, shout out to Baba Artists. Like, we sitting back watching, and I'm like, damn, this how people moving in the conscious community. So I just got my heart broke all over again. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, that's expansion. All right, that's what's up. That's expansion. I can work with a broken heart. So even if you feel like you're in a space where your heart is broken from so many situations and things that happen in your life, like, you can still work with that, because when your heart is broken in pieces, guess what? You're cracked open, where more your authentic self can shine through those cracks.
That's right.
So it's a matter of perception.
Yep.
You know, it's no different than if you had a bundle of grapes, and you drop it, and then all of the grapes roll off the vine. Well, now everybody can come and grab some. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of perception. So this is what being a co-creator of your own reality is about.
That's right. Yep.
So I guess we can slide into the relationship part of this, because this is by far been the scariest shit that we have dealt with.
Yeah.
Like, we're not scared of demons. None of the stuff we was scared of, we was in religion. But like, this relationship shit, this shit's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So for those of y'all that's still single, like, do the work. So when you step
Definitely.
into this arena, you will be able to be in the space of authenticity already, because you figured out who you are.
Yep. That's so true. Oh man. We're grateful.
That's
And we
what's up,
glad
Peace
that
Marie.
we able to show, you know what I'm saying, some inner workings of our relationship, and you know what I'm saying, how we process through things. But like she said, yeah, it's scary shit.
Yeah.
It is. Because it requires you to have to just, strip and totally be naked, you know what I'm saying? You know, totally be naked from a introspective standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I'm learning myself, I gotta share, you know what I'm saying? I gotta share it with her. As she learning herself, she's sharing it with me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, ooh. Are you ready to share, like, for real?
It's scary.
Like, are you ready to share that type of stuff with somebody else? It be stuff that you don't want to say nothing about. You know what I'm saying? It be stuff that you may be ashamed to think about it yourself, about yourself. You like, oh, shit. But then, you know what I'm saying? Being authentic, and the more that you share, the closer you become.
It's true. And you might share some shit, and it might not be received as well as you would like for it to be.
True.
But you gotta accept that shit. We gotta stop hiding and running. You gotta stop being like, I'm not gonna be real, because if I be real, then this might happen. See, you want some manipulative, like slick, insidious, manipulative shit where I'm gonna be nice.
Yeah.
So that I don't get found out for what my truth is, and then you be mad that somebody is not respecting your heart. But it's like, well, damn, you're not even sharing your heart.
Right.
Like, give me the opportunity to either love you and work through this shit with you, or walk away. When you don't give another human being the opportunity to do that, you're not moving in genuineness.
Right. So you can be in a relationship for a long ass time.
Yep.
And y'all ain't even really got deep with each other. Now that's some scary shit.
That's most relationships. We haven't really been doing relationship counseling. We have done it, but not like consistently, because just realizing the depths of this. It don't matter how long people been together. It's so much shit that you don't even know about yourself.
That's
And
right.
if you've been in a relationship with somebody else and you've been trying to keep shit copacetic, then it creates
Build
more
up.
blind spots to stuff you don't realize about yourself. So this path is not for people who feel fear and run. This path is for people who feel the fear and like, let me do it anyway.
Right.
Let me keep going.
I want to be better.
I want to be better.
I want to master this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So let's get intimate, shall we? So we're going to quote a few things from an author by the name of David Data. Again, we do not want to be content jackers, because it's happened to us and it broke our heart, you know. So make sure we give people credit where credit is due.
Yes. I mean, he has a
A whole
man.
Library of Alexandria on relationships shit.
Exactly.
For real.
Exactly. Divine feminine, divine masculine, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you want to begin with the first part?
Okay. All right. So you still yearn to be taken by a man's real love, to be truly seen and opened by your lover's penetrating gaze, touch, and profound heart desire. Secretly, you still yearn to surrender to a man who is worthy of your trust, but you have not met him. And worse, you have learned that when you surrender, open, and give yourself completely to a man, you eventually get hurt. In the rare moments when your depth is invited, your pain comes up first, and you often end up scaring your man. Emotional protection. Y'all still with us? Yeah, for some reason it froze up. I'll take it back. Okay. So you begin to doubt love. You lose trust in men. You surround your wounded heart with shells of emotional protection, hopefully preventing more hurt. Your body develops tensions and even diseases after years of not surrendering, not receiving deep love, not giving yourself entirely, as you so long to do with every cell of your being. There is always tension, the tension of not being met and really stretched open in the fullness of the love you are.
Ooh, wait, that's a lot. Like, how profound is that so many of us, men can relate to this too, I'm sure. But you have this yearning to
right.
be loved deeply,
Yeah.
yet surrendering your heart feels like the scariest shit to really do, to really be vulnerable. In order for you to not scare a man away, ladies, there is just a level of depth that you need to feel comfortable with within yourself when it comes to love. And this is not shifting everything on the woman, saying that the woman is always the reason that the masculine energy is pressed away. But if you have been having to protect your heart, and if surrendering to a man has not been safe to you, maybe your dad walked out on you. You know, it could have started very early. Again, it could be epigenetically, it could be generational. And so it makes it hard for a man to even feel comfortable penetrating you with a deep love. And so this was something I had to take accountability for. I wanted to put it all on him, but some of it was me too, because I had practiced for so long. Like, religion taught you to guard your heart at all, times.
Right.
That the heart is deceitfully wicked. That who can trust their heart? No man can trust their heart.
Right.
Only God knows the heart, because it's deceitfully wicked.
Yeah.
So, like, that programming, whether it's yours or not, you might even remember that scripture, but that program is in this matrix. It's in the fabric of this matrix.
Exactly.
So for a lot of us, for many different reasons, we shut our heart down. And so what happens is you doubt the power of love. You go into the indoctrination of fear, which is the opposite. You lose trust in men. This is why women talk so bad about men. I get it. It's from a place of pain, though. It's from a place of hurt.
Right.
So you
vice versa.
Exactly. So you have this barbed wire of energy wrapped around your heart, and then when you try to get close and open up to somebody, the barbed wire it hurts, and they can't even get close enough to love you deeply. So this was something I had to work on.
And then I know that's hurtful, because you want, like it's stated, you yearn for this.
Yeah.
So you longing to receive this type of love with your whole being, but because you've been so conditioned for survival, you've been conditioned to guard yourself. Then when you want to open up, you still it's like you can't open up. It's barbed wire, so you might be trying to rip open a gaping hole in the barbed wire.
Yeah.
And you still gonna get cut.
Yeah. That's
both ways. That person gonna get cut trying to enter, and you'll be cut as you trying to reach them.
Yeah. You dissolving the ego is what dissolves the barbed wire.
Yeah.
The image we're painting.
Yeah.
And so what this does is this turns into tension in the body, and then it turns into disease.
Yeah.
And so some of the disease that's in our community is not all because of the food and the environmental things that we're being polluted with. It's the
a lot of
pollution that's coming from
psychological.
inside psychologically.
Yes.
Y'all.
Yes.
We are a very broken people.
Yes.
We are in remnants.
Yes.
But we're gathering those remnants and coming back to ourselves so that we can be whole again.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Few men.
here I go. Let me address the men, the masculines. Very few men are capable of entering a woman's heart and opening her body to God's bliss. When I say God's bliss, I mean ecstasy, right? But few women are capable of offering their heart and body to be claimed open in this way. Fear is the feeling of refusal. Fear is the feeling of mistrust. Fear is the heart's contraction that withdraws openness behind walls of protection. Fear is the act of unlove, the negation of love, the refusal to open and offer love's openness as your gift. Anything less than a life of total loving is fear. So look, y'all, that's straight up. Like for a lot of masculines, y'all have not developed the skill of opening a woman's heart and her body.
That's true.
For a lot of masculines, you learn how to get her to open her legs, but you did not learn how to get her to open her heart.
Man.
So this
That
is
was
on y'all
devastating to me.
masculines too.
That was so devastating.
For real.
To me. I was like, fuck. What?
When I first laid that on him, I was like, dude, you don't know how to open my heart. And so like when I started going through my goddess initiations, it was just like, well, you don't open your body then.
Yeah.
Until he started practicing
Working through
and
it.
working through it, don't open your body if he can't enter your body through your heart. And I was like, yo, that's deep. So, you know, this is the reality of where we are. And this is that next level shit that we've been talking about with relationships, which is why, you know, a lot of people is just real touch and go, but it's so many layers to this to unfold on both sides of the masculine and the feminine.
That's right. I had to put in that work. Phil said, yeah. But I mean, when you do, the rewards for doing it is beautiful. The experiences for doing it.
Yeah. It's God's bliss, you know? It's God's bliss. It's ecstasy. Like we're here to experience heaven on earth. And so we're all creating that and anchoring that energy. So when you're working on yourself, just know that if you're not in a relationship yet, you're ultimately making an investment in having that healthy relationship and knowing how to do that. Like, I don't know. I'm at a point now where I just tell women, if a man don't know how to open your heart, your legs need to stay however your heart is. If you got barbed wire on your heart, barbed wire on your legs, he don't know what to do with it, shit. Whatever, you practicing metaphysics and you learning this and learning that and meditating and doing this and doing that and going on this retreat and this, that, and that, and that, and that, but you ain't even learning how to work with the feminine energy and the divine feminine is rising, you're going to get left behind. So you must practice. Men have just been fucking handed everything, pussy on the platter. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, that's not what we are. Like, no, that's toxic. Why would I give you anything and you don't even know how?
It ain't no balanced exchange.
Nope.
Yeah.
So it's gonna automatically be something that leaves you feeling uncomfortable and drained and ultimately sickness.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you ladies, I just have to say this. Like a man's semen is gonna hold the same energy of his consciousness. And so let's just bypass what he's eating. I'm talking about psychologically. That shit impacts you on a cellular level. So like you want to be a choosy lover once you awaken and cross over, because you're doing too much grid work and too much reprogramming and too much resetting your cellular energy for that shit to be threw off. You know, like their semen literally would carry the seeds of unconsciousness.
That's true.
And you got to start all over again. I used to go through that shit, and I'm like, I can't. Like, it don't matter how conscious a dude is telling me he is. Like, if his semen touches anything on my body, everything in my body, my intuition is like, alert, alert, red alert. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is not alkaline. it's not healthy.
Man.
So, you know,
That's
these are
good.
just
That's
new
good, though.
ways that we need to create new standards
Yeah.
for the way that we exchange energy.
So the question was asked, and then we're gonna continue on. The question was asked. I think that was Energy. He said, how do I open your heart? And I know that question is personal from the standpoint of, well, how do we open a woman's heart?
Yeah.
It takes you to learn that woman and what makes her tick, and what she, of course, the simple stuff, what she like, you know what I'm saying, but on a deeper level, you know what I'm saying, what really drives her, you know what I'm saying, and then you're able to get in the lane, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then you can begin to do some things that would be specific to that individual, her,
Yeah.
that will begin to unlock her heart.
Yeah. What does a woman yearn for that you can give to her? Like, I did not incarnate as a dude this time, and it is a very great thing that I didn't, because I got game like no other. But I'm gonna share a little bit. Okay. So let's just say, and you gotta be real with this shit now. If it ain't coming from the heart, don't shoot your shot. Like, for real. Because you like, it's a place for crazy females. Crazy females exist because niggas be out here doing some stupid shit. So there's a place for everything. I firmly believe that. I'm not trying to turn every woman on this planet into a goddess or an empress. There is a place for the crazy chicks.
I don't think the numbers matter.
Yeah, but you want to shoot it from the
I
heart.
don't even think the numbers matter.
But for real, what does she yearn for that you can give her? Like, if you're dealing with a woman who has been taken advantage of, right? And maybe sexually she has been abused. You want to start there, and it needs to be really, really real and coming from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, I don't know what it's like to have your boundaries like totally crossed, for somebody to force themselves on you. But I want to stand in that space. I can't undo what was done. But in the space that was created in your heart with that brokenness, I want to stand in that space with you. And so for me to do that, I'm going to be real and be vulnerable with you. And I want you to hold me accountable for how I talk to you, how I treat you. And if I'm ever crossing that boundary, you let me know, and I'm not going to be triggered and respond out of my trigger. What is a woman going to do in response to that? And it's a heart language. She's going to open.
Yeah.
Women are like flowers. When the atmosphere is right, she opens. It is a very organic thing to happen. But we've gotten away from what's organic and got into the synthetics.
Yeah. And if I could leave one idea, one word, it would be vulnerability.
Yeah.
Just being vulnerable. That's something that we as men, we just, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't anything that was comfortable for us. You know what I'm saying? And so to then be put in a position to where, cause you really don't have closeness to that extent if you're not being vulnerable with one another. We talking about real closeness. We sitting right here, but we can be sitting by each other all day in front of the camera. But if we don't have any vulnerability with each other, we just sharing space. We are not being intimate. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about being intimate before we even thinking about anything sexual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, you're talking about unlocking.
Yeah.
You're talking about opening.
Man, like, for y'all masculines, y'all need to be on some MacGyver shit where you just like it's booby traps. She got booby traps around her heart. It ain't even just barbed wire. It's like booby trapped and shit. You on some MacGyver shit. You like, I'm gonna take this battery and this wire. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Y'all better
what?
inspect the gadgets that shit and start figuring it out.
Exactly. That's right.
So for my ladies, this is something that we all do to cope with having hearts that have been wounded. You occupy yourself with chores and to-do list. You focus on your financial goals, or perhaps you decide to give your life to serving a social cause or following a spiritual path. You spend time with your friends, you enjoy travel, exercise, and you take care of yourself. And still, your heart yearns. Whether you are alone or with a man who is not deeply claiming your heart. Just as you have chosen to guard your heart for fear of being hurt, the man you attract will have chosen to claim life more shallowly than his true depth. This man, he's not even living in his own depth of who he is and what he brings to this world. He's living in a very shallow way. He has a shallow career, a shallow job, shallow relationships, shallow conversations. Like, there's no depth to him. And this was definitely the issue with this one. I was like, nigga, I can't feel you. Like, you're here, you can touch my face and I feel that, but I don't feel anything beyond the physical. He didn't know how to be present. And it frustrated me so much. And I had to accept the fact that I manifested a man who loved in a shallow way because he had been hurt because I was guarded. And so because he didn't know how to be present, right, I would react in a way where I would just be closed. So you have an unpresent masculine and closed feminine. Like, there, you can't have true intimacy like that.
Right.
And so for a lot of men, the reason why they get comfortable with living shallow and not having a depth to themselves, because when a man really got deepness, when he is comfortable with his deepness and he go there and he can be vulnerable and strip, like Tank is a perfect example. Tank is an R&B artist, which I'm sure y'all know, but like his level of vulnerability and depth is phenomenal to me. And I think it's so beautiful that he ended up doing the kind of music that he does, because it's really in alignment with his energy. But I know some of y'all gonna disagree, but I'm finna say it because this our platform, so it really don't even matter what you disagree about, but you're still getting some good stuff. So take what resonates. You ain't gotta agree. But when I listen to Tank have a conversation, I think with Angela Yee, and they were talking about sexuality and what his perceptions was of what truly identifies a man as being homosexual. And so they were basically exploring different explorations that someone may go through and figuring out what they like and don't like. And he was just like, well, I think if a man has some type of sexual interaction with another man, if it was like a one-time thing, I don't think that man is a homosexual from that point forward. He's just homosexual. Could have just been an experience that he had. And now he knows what he likes and don't like. I know for especially a lot of black men, they 100% disagree. But I felt like even though he know that truth was authentic to his heart, how he felt, and he didn't suppress what was in his heart for the sake of what other people thought about it. And so that made me respect him, because I'm like, when a black man come out and say some shit that's unpopular, you know what I'm saying? And people are going to judge you for it, and you got a platform to the level where he does, and you willing to put that out there. Like, that man is very comfortable with his sexuality and who he is, and he don't give two fucks what anybody think about what he said. And I just was sitting there, that nigga was like a unicorn to me in that moment. And I told Ernest, I was like, this is phenomenal. And then Kevin Gates is another example, because Kevin Gates then rapped about screwing his cousin. Like, who do that? Most all of us here to either kissed the cousin, felt on the cousin, liked the cousin, found out it was your cousin. Maybe you screwed it, then found your cousin, but you ain't telling nobody about it. Why? Because you know that that is frowned upon, and you don't want to put yourself out there. So again, you hiding. You're hiding. You're picking and choose what you share. You're not just really walking in what you feel like is your truth. So you're giving more fucks about what other people feel about you and your life and your experiences than you are about communicating your truth from your heart. You live like that, you can't even be intimate with life. Life is all about intimacy. Life is sex. It is exchange of energy. And the more truthful you become, the more you manifest people into your life who own the same vibration. And then all of a sudden, you want to open. And you want to be claimed deeply, and you want to bear it all, and you don't have to hide anymore. You know, and so I just think those are examples. But I got on his ass. I was like, you're not gonna be unpresent.
Yeah,
with me.
And then when you shared that experience right there, when we first came across that, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, my first response really. Organically, my first response was like, "Nah, that's not an experience it don't take having an experience to know." You know what I'm saying? But I was open to understand, and his point does make sense. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? One time. Do that mean that identifies that's who you are? No. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's all in the perspective. You know what I'm saying? And if you're open-minded enough to understand it like that, then you can see it. It's just like on the other side, there are women that may have experienced other women before, but that might not be their lifestyle now. You know what I'm saying? So do that mean that they gay? Do that means that, you know what I'm saying, that they're a lesbian or whatever, you know? No, it may not. It may have been an experience. It may have been, like you said, it may have been that period of exploration where they were trying to find themselves.
Yeah. And, you know, I would rather be with somebody who at least explored different things, open-minded enough, because you don't even know anything about yourself. So, you know, that's where them situations happen, and dudes come home and they female with a female, and they didn't even know she liked females. And it's just like, well, damn. And then you moving out, and then a female moving in. And it's just like, if there was openness, and if you would have created an atmosphere that made that woman feel comfortable to communicate, because I can almost like 100% say that it's some type of energy you're giving off that's not giving an invitation of openness to that person. So guess what? You're gonna have secrets, and it don't have to be like that.
That's so true.
It really don't have to be like that. You know, straight out the gate.
Most relationships.
And even when I was a Christian, I didn't have that shit. I've been with women. I've been with men. I've been with multiples. I wanted to experience like me. That's what we're here to do. We here to figure out who we are. Yep. So at some point, you just have to be like, I got to figure out who I am. I can't live by other people. That may work for them really great, but that's like trying to wear somebody else's shoes and your feet hurting and shit. And you still walking in them shoes every day. Well, 20, 30, 40 years go by, your ass go barely be able to walk because your feet so messed up from wearing somebody else's shoes that did not fit you. And this is how a lot of us have been living. And so we're coming out of this. The matrix is breaking. And as it's breaking, we're having to challenge beliefs. We're challenging our own limitations. And yes, I do feel like we're going to have deeper, more fulfilling relationships as a result. But we got to get through the grimy, dirty parts first. You know what I'm saying? You gotta roll around in the mud first. You gotta go to the abyss. This is the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, they giving out jabs to just speed up the path to becoming a zombie now. Like, we're living in the apocalypse, but this is the apocalypse where it's an opportunity for those who will allow their heart to expand, where I'm telling you, like, just practice releasing the limitations, the inhibitions that don't serve you. Maybe they used to serve you and they don't anymore. You got to go deep within yourself and figure out who you are so that you can clean up the vibration that you give off,
Right.
so that the things that are coming into your reality are in alignment with you. And it don't mean that your life go always be perfect and great. You still go through shit.
Right.
It's still gonna happen. But I feel like the conscious community is we're finna start seeing some restructuring, because like for a minute we were kind of hid from the breakdown of the matrix when we first came into this. So I feel like now that we kind of got going and people are solidifying their lanes and, you know, these are the go-tos for this and that and other. But what we're finna start seeing happen, and I told y'all with this eclipse that we just had, the skeletons was coming out of the closet. If you didn't read the blog, check the blog out. I wrote the blog and I took astrology and energy and channel messages. I put all of that shit together. I put a lot of work into that so that you could really figure out where you want to fit in the grand scheme of things, because we are not allowing our reality to be dictated by archons, other people's beliefs, and shit that's been suppressing us. Other people's opinions will drown your ass. That shit is an ocean that you cannot swim in. You just cannot. You just have to separate yourself from it and just don't be a part of it.
Right.
Don't be a part of it. Who are you? Who are you? The more valuable you are is a result of how authentic you can be. And for those of you who are in relationships, maybe with people who don't want to be with the authentic person you're discovering, you know, you have to accept that too. Maybe this is a new beginning for you, and you're starting over, and that's beautiful too. Don't let nobody shame you for whatever your journey is.
Right. No, that's
Real
right.
talk.
Yep.
So yes, dreams are getting very vivid. Ah, very, very vivid. That's a whole other topic for another time. But let's see. Is there anything we need to update y'all on? Y'all see this beautiful ring Ernest made for me? Oh, look at that
thank you, babe.
carnelian. Yes. He is cold with the copper and the crystals. But so I just want to
Thank
say,
you.
I just want to say that we have products on the website. We try to create everything with integrity. Like what you see here is what you get. Like real talk. Like if we don't know how to value ourselves any other way, we see other people doing great things and we aspire to get there. But what we know is different about us is our sincerity, our genuineness, our authenticity. It is what it is. And so our products, everything that we do is created from this space.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, because there's so many people that are just lacking integrity. It's not about false morality, but your integrity. So thank you for the people who support us.
Shout out to Lil Rudy over there.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Thank you to the people who support us, who get our products. Like I'm creating potions because I want y'all to become your own masters of your own reality, not to be relying upon anything else. So sometimes potions and crystals and things like that just help you to get more into the vibe of, okay, I can create what I want to create. So for those, I've been having a lot of men ordering lately. I'm like, that's what's up. They getting the work in. They like, I went to the river and I put this in the river. I took your potion. I did this with the tree. Like really dope shit. And I'm like, my masculines, we need you to step into that metaphysical aspect and do the work. You know, us feminists, we've been trying to do the work by ourselves, but we need y'all. We need y'all. So, yeah, I think those are the only updates. Subscribe to the website so that you can keep up with what we're doing. Because I'm creative and I'm all in my divine feminine. So I just jump up one day and I'd be like, oh, I want to do this. So, you know, I don't do the logical reasoning, planning, and he's all of that. I'm none of the structure. So follow us, because a lot of times I don't even update what we're doing on these platforms.
I think it's Remnants Gathering on Facebook, but we don't hardly use it too much.
We don't use Facebook that much, but you can definitely find a lot more on the website. Yeah. So, yes, so go check that out. And thank y'all. I think this was the most amount of people we ever had that really were talking. The website is remnantsgathering.com.
Yeah.
The link is in the bio as well. All of our links are in the bio. Yes, and let's see. Oh, and we do have some other new stuff that we're working on. So, like, just stay plugged in. If you want to be plugged into what we're doing, stay plugged in with us, and we go keep vibing. I'm trying to get him to make more pieces because his crystal, it's beautiful. And I'm not saying
Thank
that
you,
because
baby.
he's mine, but it really is. And everything's about energy. And so the energy that we put our
Thank you,
hands
Sheila.
to, it is just an extension of
Ashe.
us. So yes, we want you guys
Peace-
to
peace,
create the
sister.
reality you want. So thank y'all for being with us.
Definitely.
Yeah. And for those of you who know what it
We from Tennessee.
We gonna turn up.
Energy 369. We from Tennessee. Memphis. We from Memphis, Tennessee. You said what, baby?
how we gonna do this?
Yeah. Do it that way.
Last night I was just feeling it. You feeling it?
Yeah.
Baby, take the lead then. Lead us out of here.
Represent your vibe, represent.
Oh.
Represent your vibe, represent.
Hey.
We in the live doing it like this, represent.
Hey.
Now represent your tribe, represent.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're gonna slide out of here on these high vibes. So we always say, we got t-shirts and shit. If y'all like the slogan, go get the t-shirts. Like represent the tribe, the vibe.
Yeah.
But here we go. If you know it, say it with us. Man, your third eye has just been kissed. Peace.